Wolfpack. It's time for Friday wind down. Has everyone got their glass of wine or beer or whatever makes them happy? Good job. Okay, so if everyone's ready, shall we get started? Stand up, we'll start on our feet. And I'll just stand side on so you can see better. But we're going to start with some rolling down. So just tuck your chin to your chest, roll yourself forward and let your hands hang down in front of you. If you need to have your knees a little bit bent, because your hamstrings start a bit tight, that's okay. And then come back up. Then take your arms up over your head, look up to the ceiling, just go into a little bit of a back bend, and back down, chin to chest, roll down, just hang, and come back up. Arms and eyes up to the sky, little back bend, and back down. This time when you come down, try to keep your knees straight this time. If you had them bent before, get a bit lower to the floor, and back up, back bend, eyes to the sky. We'll do one more. Got warm, I'll take my jumper off already. Back up. And then come back to start. Now take your legs a little bit wider than your hips. Put your hands on either side of your thighs and just bend down to one side, sliding your hand down towards your knee and your other hand up to your hip. Come back up and go over to the other side. Over to the other side again. Try to pull this side of your chest up toward the sky while you're bending. Other side. Two more each way. See if you can get a little bit lower down your leg each time. Last ones. And come back to center. Put your arms out nice and wide like a T shape, or if you don't have enough room, you can put them up behind your ears again. Keeping your hips nice and still and pointed to the front like a pair of headlights. Just twist around one way, keeping your arms nice and straight like you've got a broomstick behind your shoulders. Twist right around, keep your hips to the front, and then twist around the other direction. Back around the other way. And this time when you twist around, just do 3 little pulses, just to extend your twist a little bit further and around to the other side. Do one more each way, 3 pulses, come back to start. And leave your arms out wide and your legs out wide. And we're going to do a soaring motion downwards. So bending over toward the opposite knee or foot and just saw your little toe off and come back up. And then other side. 3 little pulses at the bottom, sawing your toe off. And back up. And up. One more each side. And up. Now, this time we're going to roll down again, but we're going to stay down there. So chin to chest, roll yourself forward, and put your fingertips or your knuckles or even your hands flat on the mat. And then just keep one leg straight and bend the other knee forward. And then you're popping out one side of your bottom. And then switch it over, straighten that leg, bend the other one, pop out your bottom. And just keep switching over. Nice big stretch through that straight leg. Try and get your hands a little bit flatter to the floor if you can. Do 2 more each side. And straighten both legs, and then walk your hands out in front of you until you're in a pike shape, so you look like a triangle. Bottom up in the air, heads down, and then just lift your heels up, come up onto your toes, and then push back down and try to get your heels on the floor. Keeping your knees nice and straight, then back up on your toes, heels down, toes again, and down. Keep going. It's looking really good. Keep going, good. You're doing great. Take a sip of wine whenever you need it. Then come back into your pike shape, so your bottom's up in the air again. And then come forward into a plank, and then drop your hips and your knees down to the floor and look up to the ceiling. And then bring yourself back up, back into the pike shape. Heels down to the floor if you can. Then back down, knees and hips, touch the mat, looking up. And keep going backwards and forwards. Bottom up to the sky. Belly down to the mat. Last one. Now this time when you put your belly down to the mat, just keep going and lay down flat. Now just put your arms in under your head, like fold your arms a bit like a genie if you like. Now just choose one leg, lift it up to your bottom, and then reach back with the hand on the same side and pull your heel into your bottom. Try to push the front of your pants down into the mat. Stretch out through the front of your leg. Now what you can do is move your foot from side to side. So you're stretching out all the muscles in the front of your leg. Keeping it pulled in nice and tight to your bottom. Move it backwards and forwards. Trav, you can sit up a little bit if that helps you reach your foot. Or you can stay where you are. Okay, and switch over. Other leg. Heel to your bottom. Front of your pants down into the mat. Come up into kneeling. Up onto your knees. And just take 1 foot forward out in front of you. So everything's at 90 degrees. And then just push your hips forward. Bend your front knee. Try not to arch your back too much when you do this. Stay nice and straight. And just lean forward. You'll feel a nice big stretch in the front of you. Might feel a bit in your back. It doesn't matter where you feel it, so long as you get something. And then rock yourself back and straighten out the leg in front. Get your front toe pointed. And then push forward again. So we're just going to keep moving through those 2 positions. We'll do 2 more each way, and then we'll do the other leg. And switch over to your other leg. And rock back. One more each direction. Now come back to kneeling. You might need to go on a bit of an angle on your mat because you want to put your knees nice and wide. And then sit back and lean yourself forward onto your elbows. So you're in a bit of a froggy type position. And you want to stretch out in between your hips or in between your thighs. And then just rock yourself from side to side. And you'll feel a deeper stretch up into your groin. And come back up. And come into sitting. I'm just going to get my glass of wine. Now legs out in front of you. Bend one knee and put the sole of your foot in a against your other thigh. And then stretch yourself forward. Now, I don't want you to roll over like that. What I'd like you to do is keep yourself nice and straight, reach forward, and try to get your chest towards your knee rather than your head. And then just reach as far down your leg as you can. You can just do little tiny pulses, and as you feel yourself loosen up a bit, reach a little bit further down your leg. You might be able to get all the way down to your foot, or you might only just get past your knee. Doesn't matter what it is today, it will improve. And sit up just for a second, nice and tall. And we'll go back down again. See if you can get a bit further this time. And then switch over. Other leg out the front. Bend the other knee. Reach forward. Might find one side's a bit tighter than the other. That's okay. Little pulses. Reach a bit further if you can. Sit up, let it go. And go one more time. Take both legs out in front of you. Flex your toes up to the ceiling. And just fold yourself forward. Now this time what you're trying to do is lay your whole body along your legs. I certainly can't do it, but give it a go. Might be able to grab onto your feet, your ankles, wherever you can. Just get as flat as possible. We'll hold it there. Sit back up tall. And take one leg and cross it over your straight leg. And twist it. I'll do it this way so you can see better the first time. And twist around. Now this isn't really a twisting stretch, but what you're actually trying to do is pull on your knee. So you want to feel it up your bottom rather than as a twist. Just twist enough as you need to though, to be able to pull that knee in across your other leg. Take a couple of big deep breaths while you're there. Change sides. Pull your knee across as far as you can. Or you have a little twist. Three big deep breaths. And then lay yourself down on the mat. Lay yourself flat. Straighten one leg out. Pull your other knee in towards your chest. Now what you're going to do is you're going to circle your thigh bone around. Now if you can do this with a straight leg, that's fantastic, but you don't have to. Just get your knee bent and make big, big circles with your hip. And go the other way. You might feel a bit of a clunk in your hip. That's okay, so long as it's not painful. That's just your psoas tendon clicking over your femur. And change legs. Circle around one way. My hip's clicking a lot more on this side. Then change sides, or go the other way, I mean. Now take that leg that you've got up in the air and take it across your body. Now you don't want to roll your hips too far. What you want to do is just try to pull your knee up toward your chest. So it's crossed over, but then you're just pulling it up a bit. You should feel a nice stretch through the bottom of your bottom. And then try to push it down to the floor without rolling your hips. And you'll feel the stretch in a slightly different spot. And change sides. Roll it over. Pull it up towards your chest. I feel it really, really deep there. And then try to push it down to the floor. Okay, now we're going to do that fancy pretzel glute stretch. So knees bent, one ankle on the knee, then reach through. Have a look at me if you're not quite sure what to do. Oh, Sabano. And change sides. Let that go. Take yourself long and flat on the mat. Point your toes. Try to get your toes to the wall. Try to get your fingertips to the wall above your head if you've got one. Make yourself as long as you can. Wiggle your feet and your ankles, your hands. Take your arms out into that T shape that we did before. And just turn your head, look to your left fingers. And then over to your right fingers. Back to the left. Right. Then bring your knees up, bend your knees, put your feet flat on the floor. And then let your knees fall apart and then put the soles of your feet together. And just relax there. Now take your hands and put them just sort of at the bottom or just below your rib cage. And then take a big deep breath and try to breathe into your hands. You should feel your hands and your chest all come open with that big deep breath. Take another one. Feel all of yourself just melt down into the floor. As you take another big deep breath. 2 more. Last one. And we're done.